I built this cheap gaming PC and I spent exactly $242.99. I know people have different ideas of cheap, but this is pretty cheap for a desktop computer. You might be thinking, can it even game? And is building something this cheap even worth it? Or should I save up for a better build? Right now, any computer has some type of value. The cost of just the RAM and storage is almost the same price as the whole PC. And I built this to show that something in this price range isn't obsolete. I end up testing out a few games and it holds its own, 1080p around 60 to 100 FPS and even more, just depending on the game and settings. It can even be upgraded to get more performance, which I do end up doing, and I compare the FPS results. So if you enjoy a good bargain as much as the next guy, then let's get into it. I'm starting in a weird spot, but I'm grabbing the parts that made the whole build possible. So all of this was bought on eBay and I shop there a lot, but as long as I keep finding good deals, they will keep getting my business. If anyone from eBay is watching, you should sponsor me. Grab a little box to build on. Let's start with our CPU. It's a sweet little Ryzen 5 from AMD. Now it is our first generation Ryzen 5 1600, so it's not like the best or the newest. It's actually quite old, and it's the AE version. They did a refresh of it and they called it the Ryzen 5 1600 AF, which was just built on a faster 12 nanometer process. But at the end of the day, this will still get the job done and we'll play games. Go and install it into the socket, line up the triangle on the motherboard, which is a basic GIGABYTE B450M DS3H. You know, nothing special, no bells or whistles. Has 4 RAM slots, 1 M.2 slot, and USB holes. So it has everything to be able to build a computer and have it fully functional, just nothing crazy. Let's go ahead and fill up these RAM slots. Well, at least 2. I would have to take a mortgage to fill up all 4. We have 2 sticks from Corsair, total of 16 gigabytes. It's actually clocked at 3600 megahertz, which is pretty damn good. Just line it up in the little slots and push down until you hear it click. Now this deal here, it did come with storage. Unfortunately, it is just a basic SSD. I want to say it's a low capacity too, like a 480 gigabyte drive. You can install, I don't know, maybe 1 game, Call of Duty. And unfortunately, it is a SATA interface, so it is slower than like an M.2 SSD, but it is still faster than a traditional hard drive. With current storage prices, this will do more than get the job done. I just can't install it now, so we'll wait on this. However, I can install this little stock cooler. Let's go and put a backplate under there first. Can't forget the computer lube. Should be enough. Motherboard is all prepped, looking very, very nice. This deal also came with the GPU, but I will talk about this a little later on after I install this in the case. My #1 piece of advice if you want to build a cheap PC is to look for bundle deals, and that's exactly what I did. I paid $184.88 for mine, and that came with the motherboard, CPU, the stock cooler, 2 sticks of RAM, a SATA SSD, and the GPU. In today's market, I would say this was a solid pickup. Now the parts are a bit older, but since it's on the AM4 platform, it can last quite a while longer with the right upgrades down the line. Just update the BIOS to support the most recent CPUs and you'll be chilling. I think the biggest win from the combo was the RAM. Not only is it 16 gigabytes, but it's clocked at 3600 megahertz, which is a super fast speed. We'll get nice performance on this Ryzen based build. Our Ryzen 5 probably won't be able to run it at the rated speed, but it's nice to have that headroom for when I upgrade the system. All right, let's finish this build. Here's the case that's holding all the components, and this, along with the power supply, are the only parts that I had to buy separately. When building a cheap PC and shopping for a case, it is best to just buy the cheapest option that holds the components. You shouldn't be caring about aesthetics or RGB or glass or anything like that. If you're on a budget, you just need a case that holds the stuff. But bro, your case has glass and RGB. Yeah, I know. But this was on sale for only $30, I want to say, straight from Newegg. Just because I'm building a cheap PC doesn't mean it won't have the I/O shield. The only drawback of this case is the fans. They are FRGB, which just means they can't be controlled. So it's just straight rainbow puke. But again, for the price, I mean, I didn't even buy it for the RGB, I just bought it to hold everything. And as you can see, it fits standard size METX motherboards. I'm actually gonna steal this SATA cable from this motherboard box I built on, so we can go ahead and install our SSD. One side plugs into the motherboard, and this other end plugs straight into the SSD. There's also another connector, that's SATA power, which you'll plug in from the power supply. Speaking of, some might say I'm trying to play search and destroy with this unit, but these parts are super low power and it will more than get the job done, and it won't blow up, despite what you think. Install with the fan facing down, secure with screws. Then grab this big black fat cable for the motherboard, the skinny black cable for the CPU, and nothing for the GPU because it doesn't need these, but when I upgrade it, we will be using them. And then here's that other end for the SSD, also just plugs straight in. SATA SSDs don't have any moving parts, so you can technically just throw it in the case, but I'm gonna mount it right here. Plug it back in. Plug in the fat black and the skinny black. Now for this bad boy, or should I say good boy. It only has a 4 gigabytes of VRAM. This thing is not gonna be causing any problems. It's a GTX 1650, super underwhelming, at least I would say. Minimum, I would want at least 6 gigs of VRAM, but we will still see how this performs. And like I said, I will be upgrading this computer to show that you can upgrade it without spending too much money. But I do know there are budget ballers using this GPU, so it'll be awesome to see how it performs, and it doesn't require any external power, as I was saying. So it's super easy to just drop in any computer as an upgrade if you have like an office PC and you just want some extra performance. One final screw and we're on our way to some budget gaming. Okay, fans are giving me a seizure. Dude, why are they flashing like so hard like that? No, come on, don't be busted. Other than the light show, solid build overall, especially for the price point. PC booted up first try and I was able to install Windows 11 with no issues, and thankfully the fans stopped trying to trigger a seizure, no more flashing. I also went straight ahead and updated the BIOS to the most recent version for the motherboard. That'll help with stability and also support CPU upgrades. I had a version from 2025, so it really wasn't even that old. After that, I enabled the RAM XMP at 3600 MHz, disabled CSM support so I could then enable secure boot. But then the system was giving some errors, and as I said earlier, I didn't think the CPU could run the RAM at the XMP, so I manually set it to 3200 MHz in the BIOS, and after that, it loaded up first time. I double checked the RAM speed in Task Manager and it was running at 3200. Now it's ready for some games. I started out by testing Fortnite. Since this is a budget PC, we have to pair it with somewhat easy to run games to give it a chance. As long as you don't crank these settings up, then it can run on a lot of hardware. I set it at 1080p performance mode, all low settings, and it averaged 146 FPS. 1% low is 65. It was a smooth and playable experience, not bad for first gen Ryzen 5 and a GTX 1650. In Valorant, I set it at 1080p, also on low settings, but kept on multi-threaded rendering. This game is super easy to run, so you could use high settings, but who plays this game for the visuals? We want the frames, my boy. PC did pretty good with a 218 FPS average and a 1% low of 134. In Apex Legends, I followed the same theme with low settings to target a high FPS number. I kinda expected more, but then I remembered the specs and was like, oh, performance isn't too bad. It averaged 127 FPS, and I was the one struggling to play. The PC did alright. I tested out some Call of Duty Warzone because who doesn't like shooting people? Or I at least tried to. I had a pop-up before loading in saying something about the system not meeting security requirements and something about a BIOS update. I thought it was weird because I already did that. It let me load the shaders, so I tried to get into a match and I had this message pop up basically saying the same things about the PC not meeting their security requirements, such as Secure Boot or TPM 2.0. I verified Secure Boot was enabled in the system information. I then loaded into the BIOS to double verify that TPM 2.0 was enabled as well as Secure Boot. Both were, so now I'm thinking it's a problem with our CPU. I tried loading in again and just kept getting the same message. I will come back to this when I do some upgrades. To really test the PC, I loaded up Cyberpunk and I'm just happy it loaded the game. Now it did default to the low preset at 1080p, and even with that, it was under a 60 FPS average at 50 with a 1% low of 31. This is a story mode game, so it's fairly optimized and it actually felt like a smooth experience. For shits and giggles, I did try with the high preset, and safe to say, it was worse, but still playable. If this is all you have, then it works, and if you say this is unplayable, then you are privileged. Argue in the comments. Let's talk upgrades, and you can do a lot to this system thanks to the AM4 platform. I could technically drop in this Ryzen 7 5700X 3D and this RTX 5070. It wouldn't be the most balanced build, but the motherboard does support the parts, although a new motherboard like a B550 would grant some performance gains. It isn't completely necessary to upgrade the motherboard. It'll still work with these parts. These upgrades will cost at least $700. I want to keep the upgrades a little more realistic and affordable for this budget. I can save money on the RAM since we already have 16 gigs and it's at 3600 megahertz. No need to upgrade that. The SSD could use an upgrade, but it wouldn't have a huge impact on game performance. Plus it'll cost a lot, so I'm just going to leave that alone. I'm upgrading the CPU to the Ryzen 5 3600 and the GPU to the RTX 3060 Ti. These upgrades will cost about $270 at the time of recording. The Ryzen 5 3600 is around $60 on the used market, and the RTX 3060 Ti is $200 and up on the used market. You can definitely find them for cheaper if you look around. Those are just the average sold prices from eBay. For the CPU upgrade, we still have the 6 cores and 12 threads, but it's faster and on a much newer architecture. And for the GPU, we're now going from 4 gigs of VRAM to 8, which doesn't sound like a lot, but the difference in performance is pretty noticeable. I was able to find this RTX 3060 Ti for only $114. I bought it from eBay. All I did was click on the notification from my Discord server. There's an eBay bot, scans eBay for good deals, and notifies you so you can buy them. That's linked below if you want to join. Let's see how much of an impact these upgrades have on our performance. First thing, the Ryzen 5 3600 was able to run the RAM at the rated XMP speed. I'm starting the comparisons back in Cyberpunk. Before, we were struggling to get a 60 FPS average with low settings, and now it can easily maintain above a 60 FPS average with room to spare to allow for higher settings. In Call of Duty Warzone, we can finally play the game, and it's more than just playable. The average FPS was 111 and 1% low of 78 at 1080p with a mix of high and low settings. I was actually surprised I wasn't able to load this game with the previous specs, especially considering that they aren't even super old. Like, they're still DDR4, it's not a DDR3 system. This really confirms that budget PCs can get the job done, but if it's just too old and doesn't have specific features, then it won't work with certain games or apps like what we saw with Warzone. And it's really a bummer, but oh well, touch grass. In Fortnite, I kept the settings exactly the same as when I tested with the budget parts, and it was a lot better. Even just gliding in, the FPS was higher. On the ground, it averaged 197 FPS, and if we compare it directly to the 1650 and 1st gen Ryzen 5, you can see the numbers for yourself. It's about a 34% increase. In Valorant, it was a night and day difference as well. In both times, I tested with all low settings, averaged 299 FPS with the upgrades, and with the original PC, it still averaged 218, which is actually pretty solid. I also retested Apex Legends, and the CPU was a bit toasty with the Ryzen 5 3600. Upgrading from the stock cooler would help, as it was also a bit warm in the other games, just didn't get this warm. I think my ambient temp of about 90 had something to do with it, but either way, we still saw some really good performance gains, about a 94% increase. Well, What do you think? It's not bad for the price. I like the fact that it can be upgraded so it's not obsolete the moment you build it. It's a good option for those on a budget. The parts I used are linked below and the PC if you just want to buy it. I only have one of them available and it's on my website. Anyways, that's it for me. Smash the like if you enjoyed the video. Leave any comments or feedback down below. Subscribe if you want, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.